Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games, and I'm Chris, and you know what? It's a new year, which means got a bunch of new cards. I can't wait to see what I got from TCG Player since I make pretty much a weekly order. Let's check it out. So here's my latest order from TCG Player. So you notice I got a lot of different envelopes from a lot of different places. Let's go ahead and open them up, see what we got. It's I bet it's quite a few cards. Let's go. So here are the cards I got for my latest mail run. I got all these off of TCG Player. The total value for all of these cards is not a lot. It's approximately $50. I have a larger order coming in next week, which will be a lot of fun to show. But let's go ahead and go over these cards. As you can notice, here is a foil secret layer artifact mutation, and of course, look at that curl. Way to go, Wizards! Let's try to fix that problem because it is a problem. That's disgusting, especially since the next one is another foil card from, I don't know if it's later or not. But look at that Corvold in comparison to Artifact Mutation. Artifact Mutation, of course, has been around for a while. Corvold, Gleeful Glutton, 1 green, 1 red, 1 black, 5 colorless. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each card type among permanents you've sacrificed this turn. Flying, Trample, Haste. Whenever Corvold deals combat damage to a player, put X+1/+1 counters on Corvold and draw X cards, where X is a number of permanent types among cards in your graveyard. So it's a lot of fun to be able to go through and, draw some cards, draw X cards. This might go in my Dragon deck, I don't know. I'm going to try testing it. Here are the Pulverizer. 1 blue, 1 white, 1 green, 1 colorless, 3/3. Legendary creature, Rhino Soldier. When it enters the battlefield, put a shield counter on target creature. This might go in my counter deck, I don't know. When it attacks, target creature you control gains trample and +X on a turn, where X is a number of different kinds of counters among permanents you control. Wow. Yeah, my Attracts deck might, for a 4-drop 3/3 and it enters the battlefield, you get to put a shield counter on somebody, and if you're able to start proliferating, that could be a doozy. Next one, Sliver Hive Lord, 1 of each colors, legendary creature Sliver, 5/5. Sliver creatures you control are indestructible. Yes, damage effects that say destroy, and effects that say destroy, don't destroy them. Yes, it's good old Sliver. I'm building a Sliver deck. Yes, most people hate Sliver decks. They're usually kill on sight. I'm building one just for fun. Next card is Zolaratha, the Strength Incarnate. Yes, Strength Incarnate. You'll see the reason why it's the Strength Incarnate. It's 1 green, 1 red, 3 and 3 colorless for a 7/3 legendary creature, Dinosaur. Going in a Dinosaur deck. Lethal damage dealt to creatures you control is determined by their power rather than their toughness. So, it's pretty much 7/7 for 5. Trample. It's always fun. All that glitters, full art. 1 white, 1 colorless. Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. So all those enchantment matter decks, this card might be an instant add-in. Historian of Boon, 1 white, 3 colorless enchantment. Whenever Historian's Moons or another non-token enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you get to create 1/1 soldier creature token. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control triggers, you get to create 4/4 angel token with flying and vigilance. Illustrious Wonderglyph. Yes, I've been looking forward to getting this card. I've been kind of kicking myself for not buying it when it was cheaper. Now it's about $5 to $6 for the full art. It's a great card. 1 white, 4 colorless, 2/2 Ascend. Other artifact creatures you control get +2/+2 as long as you have the City's Blessing. At the beginning of each upkeep, you get that 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature token. Yes, each upkeep, not just your upkeep. So if you're having 3 other players on the table, before you even get to go again, you have 3 tokens. Then on your turn, you get another token. Get into that Ascend to get that 10 permanents in play. Pretty easy, and then as soon as you get that, you get +2/+2. Woo! Going right in my Brea deck. Kember's Banner,
1 white, 3 colorless artifact equipment for Mirrodin. So you get to attach, when it comes into play, you attach it to a 2/2 red rebel token. And then equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. And then you can equip it. It's probably going to go my equipment deck. We'll see. And then a full art Path to Exile. I love this art. I just bought it because I love full art cards. And on top of that, the art is awesome on this card. It's a commander staple. Instant exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, puts it in the battlefield tap, then they have to shuffle. Great card. Unfinished business. 2 white, 3 colorless. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then return up to 2 target aura or equipment cards from your graveyard and put them in the battlefield attached to that creature. Amazing. Dandy Pink. This is an interesting card. For 1 blue, 3 colorless. Mentor for 3 creatures you control is whenever 1 or more creatures counters are put on this creature for the first time each turn. Get to draw a card. Yeah, going straight to my Atraxa deck. Get to be able to draw an extra card every turn for an Atraxa deck. Yes, please. Extravagant Replication. 2 blue, 4 colors. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of another target non-land permanent you control. Yes. Amazing card. Going in probably an enchantment deck, and the thing is, you don't have to choose the same card like other auras that have been created previously. This one, you get to just choose a different non-land permanent, and you get to create a token of it. It's so good. Flawless Forgery. 2 blue, 3 colorless, casualty 3, so you sacrifice power of 3, exile target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. Copy that card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. I got a couple copies of that for some reason. Can't wait to try and put it in a couple different decks. Shield Broker. 2 blue, 3 colorless. When Shield Broker enters the battlefield, put a shield counter on target non-commander creature you control or you don't control. You gain control of that creature for as long as the shield counter is on it. Nice. I love, ETB effects that gain control of things. Next card is Dam. This card's been around for, since the last modern set. Dam is such a good card. For 2 black, sorcery, destroy target creature. A creature destroyed this way cannot be regenerated. So it's just like Terror, except you could target artifact and black creatures. And then you can overload it by paying a different cost. You may cast this card for its overload cost of 2 white, 2 colorless. If you do, change the text by replacing instances of target with each creature, so you get to do a Wrath of God. Blightwing Bandit for 1 black, 3 colorless, 2/2 flying death touch creature fairy rogue. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play the card as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend any color to tap it. I don't know what deck that's going to go in. I'm probably going to make a fairy deck sooner or later, but until then, we'll see. I'm trying to fix this light. There, that's a little better. Exsanguinary Cavalry. 1 black, 2 colorless, 2/3 Vampire Knight, Menace Lifelink. When a knight you control deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and create a blood token. Wow. Yeah, there's not as many Vampire Knights, but if you have a few on the table and they're able to get in, you get a +1/+1 counter on that creature and a blood token for each knight. Yes, please. Sign me up. And that counts as a knight. Custodial Lich. Yes, this card is fantastic. I'm going to be looking to put that in my Tegra deck. For 2 black, 3 colorless, 4/2 creature zombie cleric. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Whenever you become the monarch, target player sacrifices a creature. Yes. The card, yes, please. Someone sacrifice a card. Next card is another card for the same deck. Reign of the Pit. 2 black, 4 colorless, sorcerer. Each player sacrifices a creature. Create an XX black demon or X with flying, where X is the total power of creature sacrificed this way. And then, you just happen to get everyone else's creatures because you have Tegrid in play. I got a couple of these, so here's a mistake that I tend to make occasionally. Fortunately for me, it was a cheap card. Unfortunately for me, this instance, I had to pay shipping twice. So unfortunately, I still have the card, but it is my own mistake. Make sure you're taking a look and seeing the cards that you buy as you buy them. Sometimes TCG player, even if you put it in your cart once, sometimes they'll put it back in your cart later on. And it happened to me. Stalactite Stalker. I've seen these previously. Here, I got one of each, the full border and the regular border goblin. Oh, this is a standard legal card. I'm trying to make this work for standard. We'll see if I can actually get it to work. 1/1 goblin with menace. Not that impressive. At the beginning of your upkeep end step, if you descended this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Stalactite Stalker. Great. And then for our black and 2 colorless, sacrifice Stalactite Stalker. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is Stalactite Stalker's power. So it does a lot. It's a 1/1 menace. You're able to get it out first turn. If you have lands that, like Evolving Wilds or some of the other lands that let you go and get other lands, great. Comes into play, you sack it, and then you get to descend. Filling your graveyard, all kinds of fun stuff. Next card, Loyal Apprentice. Loyal Apprentice is 1 red, 1 colorless, haste, 2/1 lieutenant. At the beginning of a combat on your turn, if you control your commander, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. That token gains haste till end of turn. You know, things that just generate tokens is great, especially in a Brea deck. Trumpeting Carnosaur. This is a great card. I got a couple of them. One of these is going to go in my GM's dinosaur deck for 2 red, 4 colorless. Dinosaur is currently standard legal as a 7/6 trample. When it enters the battlefield, you get to discover 5. Wow. That's not all. If you have it in your hand and you just don't have any mana and you need to kill something, for 1 red, 2 colorless, discarding Trumpeting Carnosaur, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So gets in your graveyard. You know, that Descend mechanic. It's so much fun. Next card is Crash the Party. 1 green, 5 colorless, instant creature. Create a tapped 4/4 green Rhino warrior creature token for each tapped creature you control. Fun. Killer Service. For one green, 2 colorless, when Killer Service enters the battlefield, create a number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 2 colorless, sacrifice a token. If you do, create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token. This is going my Sam and Frodo deck. It revolves all around food tokens. So fun and exciting. Lone Crafter Fawn. 1 green, 2 colorless, 3/3. So yes, it's a 3/3 standard druid for only 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard 1 or more land cards. When you do, return them up to that many target non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. So if you've been holding on to those lands and you draw this card, it's time to, power up. Get rid of those land cards you've been stacking to your hand and get some better cards, unless you're playing Lands Matters deck, and then who knows. Next card, Mirkwood Elk. 1 green, 5 colorless, creature elk, 6/6 trample. Whenever Mirkwood Elk enters the battlefield or attacks, return target elf card from your graveyard to your hand. You gain life equal to that card's power. For 6 mana, I don't know if it's going to be worth it to play in my elf deck, but you know what? I'm going to try it out and see if it is. Next card, Regal Behemoth. Actually, I got 2 of them. One of these is going to go in my GM's deck. I don't know where it's going to go yet. For 2 green, 4 colorless, 5/5 trample. When Regal Behemoth enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. Whenever you tap a land for mana, while you're the Monarch, add 1 additional mana of any color. Yes! A little mana flare just for you. Next card, Second Harvest. 2 green, 2 colorless. For each token you control, create a token, and it's a copy of that permanent. Yes, that's going to go straight in my Frodo deck. Frodo and Sam deck. Tooth and Nail. 2 green, 5 colorless. Man, I love this art. I don't know if I want to be playing this in my own deck, my own dinosaur deck, or if it's going to go into a sliver deck or whatnot. But Tooth and Nail is fantastic. If you have never played it before, for 2 green, 5 colorless, Entwine 2. You can choose both if you pay the Entwine cost. You can choose one, or you can choose both if you pay the Entwine. So 9 mana. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards, reveal them, and put them in your hand. then shuffle. Or you can put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. But if you entwine them, you get both. So you're going to go get 2 creatures and just put them in play. It's fantastic. Next card, Dark Steel Monolith, 8-drop, artifact, indestructible. Once each of your turns, you may pay 0 rather than pay the cost of a colorless spell you cast from your hand. Wow, yeah. It's going straight in my Eldrazi deck. Extra planar lens. This is going to go in my red deck. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target land you control. Whenever a land of the same name is exiled, of the exile card is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any type that's produced. So it is a you choose your own adventure for Gauntlet of Might, except for it doesn't get the +1/+1. This card's great, especially if you're playing a monocolor deck. Next card, Glistening Sphere, 3 colorless artifact. Glistening Sphere enters the battlefield tap. When it enters the battlefield, proliferates, and then you get tapped to produce a mana of any color. So it's a great mana rock. Adding the proliferate, so you get to choose which one you're going to do. And then Corrupted, you get to tap it, add 3 mana of any one color. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. I'm not a big poison counter fan, so the odds of that part happening, not great. But you know what? Coming to play and proliferating, it's pretty good by itself. Next one, Full Art Soul Ring. I'm a big fan of this artwork. I think it's fantastic. The only artwork I think is a little bit better is the latest Through the Wormhole artwork. But you know what? I'm excited to play with that one in a deck too. Next card, Full Crystal Grotto. This is going to go straight into my Eldrazi deck because I don't need to cycle that mana. But when it comes to play, you get to scry 1, and then it also taps for colorless mana. Another card from my Eldrazi deck, Urza's Workshop. Taps to produce a colorless mana or Metalcraft. Tap to add a colorless mana for each Urza's land you control. Activate only if you control 3 or more artifacts. I think it's going to happen. We'll see. And then a token, Manifest. Why did I buy a token for manifesting? Well, I always find it easier when people start playing with obscure rules like Manifest. Not everyone plays with that or has played with that. It's good to have the token available, so if you want to just read the card, it makes it pretty easy. And I like having those extra rules available for people who are newbies or experienced players that want to be a rules lawyer. And it's like, no, just go ahead and read the card. Read the card. That's pretty much what the card does. Well, that's what I got this week from my latest TCG player order. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it and seeing how I'm going to be playing those. I'm going to be starting to release some videos here shortly having to do with all my many different types of commander decks. Some of them are very uncommon, but I don't know the right title because they aren't uncommons. So the unlikely decks that you'll see from that will be shown here shortly. And if you have any questions or comments about any of these cards, or if you have any suggestions for any of the decks that I've mentioned today, please put them in the comments below. And until next time, good luck and keep them rolling.
And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day and keep them rolling.